Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you, cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs, when every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart, cause damn, you still fucking have my heart, and all I have is another of your cigarettes lit, but not a single fuck left to give. I could I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sink into your bedroom floor. Lovely how lonely we are together. Crazy how I hold on for a little more. Drive into the night, I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing, you left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? Cause you were my safe ride, now I drive alone.
What is up, SDL Nation? Today we got a big challenger game for you. Bucket We Fall versus Achilles Heel. I am joined today by KingFsher, the wonderful captain and leader, and the best caster we have, currently very tired and needs to do his homework right now. Achilles Heel captain, KingFsher, how you doing?
Okay, homework can wait when it's an event as important as this one. And I think you already mentioned it, but I'm the captain for Achilles Heel. You recently took over for Bucket We Fall. So it's going to be really interesting. Hopefully there's a little more, kind of in-depth conversations and stuff we can have about team comps, playstyle, all that kind of technical mumbo-jumbo.
Yeah, of course. We both know these people personally, very cool human beings, and we appreciate giving their Sunday nights to us for entertainment sometimes. But we got some bans here that we didn't really get to go over because this is game one. We had a Hebo Surtur ban, very generic bans. You can see on the top right and top left-hand side of your screen, middle-ish area. Not really much to comment about there. The one thing I will comment on is an Amaterasu Soul Lane, not your typical Soul Laner nowadays.
He definitely isn't, and not necessarily in the worst spot in the world. I think kind of the traditional solo laners like this Kukulkan that Jazz is a big fan of are just a little bit too powerful still to be running something like the Amaterasu. But that being said, still a good goddess and should find a lot of value, especially being able to dive on that Poseidon. Not going to be able to kind of cracking out of that one.
Yeah, Death's Toll, obviously a good friend to any basic attacker main. It looks like right now Achilles Heel is delaying a little bit onto the dual lane while a Maui has already reached that area. FuegoMyEggo being hit by a Morgan LaFay, a big mid laner as of right now. MLG will find himself in a rough position, but we'll be able to escape, of course, because Ganesha is one of the best guys at escaping and running through walls, which is why you probably don't pick a Ymir or a Moja against a great Ganesha.
Indeed. And now I think, oh wow, is there Ganesha gonna fall first? Steps a little bit too aggressive up on the lane, wasn't necessarily full HP, but shouldn't set them back too far, but always dangerous giving a lead over to those magical ADCs. And seeing why right now, the picks like the Soul, the Chronos, they can absolutely destroy those Bastions within the first minute and a half, like no ADC can. Oh, big knockup though onto Poseidon.
Yeah, Poseidon finds himself in a very rough position. Owelik says, I'll walk away, but psych, I'm going right back towards you. I'm going to chase you, blink you down, blink. Gets the big old feather step right over the top of the head. And a basic attack will get the pick. 2-0 going the way of Bucket We Fall as of right now. I will boast, that is my team. And of course, KingFsher's team is currently 0-2, but that does not, I don't think that's going to hold up for too much longer because this solo lane is looking to be a little bit of a box fest.
Yeah, for us who kind of struggle, I don't know if necessarily struggles in the early levels, but against something like the Kukul in a really aggressive pick, probably not going to find a whole ton of success. I think one thing to keep your eye on in this game, Virtually just allowed to go back to the jungle for his main role. So we see Zypher in mid, not the same matchup we had in week 1, so I'll be interested to see how their play reflects that as a missed Bramble Blast spells Yen for Ganesh. Maybe for the Cernanos too? No, Rose gets away.
Yeah, Rose will thrive this one, but another kill coming out from NoboFish, 2-0 at 2 minutes into the game is not a good look if you are the dual lane on Achilles Hill as of right now, but you hope to prevail somewhere else. Virtually, yes, brought down. Ooh, what a fish there from the Maui, and a big solo flare, and a big land coming out from Jim. Jim will secure that kill and possibly die to the tower, which he will, but it will not go the way of Achilles Hill stat line whatsoever due to the fact that it was killed by the tower and a solo kill coming out. We were talking about this lane being a box lane and the Kukulin being the lead of it all, but instead a solo kill coming out from CagePred right there.
Good job from CagePred, taking over to level 5 really quickly. It didn't even end up using the ultimate, so maybe just a little bit higher power protection scaling won that one out. Didn't see it though, so don't get to know. And in this duo lane, I'd like to see them play a little bit more passive. I think Rose's positioning has been good, but twice now MLG I think has stepped up a little bit too far. Luckily with that Maui missing, they can probably afford to. Whereas otherwise Soul, I would definitely be looking to push down this purple if it was only the Cern.
Yes, of course. And I wanted to, while we have a chance here, there's clearing camps right now. I just want to let you guys know, this is a Challenger division game right here. This will be the first one casted as far as I'm aware, and first one on our YouTube channel. This is the lowest division in all reality because these are the undrafted players from our Immortal virtually getting a kill in mid lane onto Barry, just while I'm talking about this. This is our lowest. There were undrafted players currently in the Immortal and Divine divisions. Instead, it will be into this Challenger division. There's only 4 teams. Only 4 teams. They're all captained by staff members. So KingFsher and I are the staff members that are representing these 2 teams as the captains. But Nublitz and who is the other one?
Locken.
Yeah, Locken, of course, is the other captain of another Challenger team. And these guys are actually competing for the possibility of competing in the Divine and Immortal prize money tournament at the end of the season. So that would be super exciting if one of these 2 teams will end up getting there. KingFsher and I will be very happy.
I mean, happy would be an understatement, and I think you'll probably see it while we go through casting this game. There's going to be a lot more focus on kind of the analysis and the big play-by-play action. Obviously, this is some of the first competitive experience some of these players have had, and others are just still trying to get better. So anything we can do to help them along, always going to be a good day. As now the Ganesh is rotating into mid lane, I'd expect Gymkhana to follow him soon. Good dash away by Cern, not having to use beads. It did get those forced out really early into the lane, so if I'm on Bucket We Fall, that's something I'm looking for often. Cernanos, no CC immunity in the kit. Theoretically, should be a pretty easy target in the late game if they're off to a really late start like they are so far.
Goodness, this boxing match in the right lane is something to watch. Dash coming out from CagePred and ultimate being used here. No dash can be used, but a big trade will be done here. Virtually will come in and kill CagePred after getting the kill onto JasNotTheGenre. So it's a really big, quick trade there. Virtually going to sit at 2-1. The only kills right now for Achilles Hill. Rose attempting to get away from a gank from FuegoMyEggo, and NoboFish currently still slapping about as hard as can be. We already talked a lot. I'm not going to dread on about these mage ADCs. They're all really good. But is it gonna be this good, you know, in the higher level games? Oh man, what a pull right there onto, sorry, who is that? That is,
Zypher.
Yeah, Zypher getting pulled by big landfall and a good kill coming out from BarryMF. Ooh man, and a big pull, a big ultimate coming out from a Wheelix as well onto a Ganesha. Probably not the target you wanted. Begging for a kill, they are. Kraken is not up as of right now because the mana is very low. This might be a die potential right here. A jump over the wall for Fuego. He will do it, but totally missed the mark onto MLG and instead get killed by Virtually. A lot of series of ultimates just happened right there. Both supports did a lot of work. Fuego obviously not able to find the spot, and it looks like they may not even be done just yet, but I've been talking for a long time.
Don't worry, I'll take over for you. MLG a little bit lucky to get out of that one, but might be turning it onto Vert, I think. Or onto Barry, rather. I think smartly just gonna kind of back up here. But a 3-1 Poseidon, that's always something you like to see, even if the rest of your team is struggling a little bit. I mean, those big Krakens late game can just absolutely spell life or death from the enemies. One of the gods in this game that I think can really, really carry a game from in front. That being said, I know we've talked about mage ADCs a little bit, and this is one thing we've been seeing on them. I think it was Stuart in the SPL play and started this new build that I really liked, especially on picks like the Hell and the Chronos, where you would go into Book of Thoth, Spear of the Magus, some kind of more damaging items, because the rings got pretty big nerfs. Telkine's ring and Cyclopean, not nearly as strong as they were in the start of the season as MLG, getting a little bit of dive onto Barry, who's dropping about half HP, probably going to have to back with no lifesteal.
Yeah. Sorry, I took a bite of my food. I'm taking this pretty casual, guys, so I'm just enjoying watching it with us. We got, obviously, yes, these builds coming out of mage ADCs, not only just like Chronos, Freya, just regular mages, of course, like Stuart was, you're talking about, you know, the Book of Thoth build style type of thing. Assassins are ADCs. It feels like everyone can be an ADC right now. And another gank coming out, this time from a Poseidon in the mid lane. Barry finds himself in a very unlike position. Now, in a 1v1 against Virtually, and Virtually will secure the kill onto Barry. Ganesha here with Jim. Jim alone will be able to hop over this wall. No one is able to catch him, but he is walking right back into the enemy lines, sadly not knowing that there were two people running right at him at the exact same time. Still very low health. Shell has saved him as of right now. Now Virtually finds himself on the back foot thanks to a rotation from NoboFish, and Virtually will escape with a sliver of health, only about 10 health left, but not without MLG falling down here. Demonic will be used, pillars will be used by him to try to get out, but instead will not be able to get out.
Good job by MLG keeping Virtually alive. I'm not going to lie, though, I don't love the decision to chase Aunt Maui into the jungle. I get they wanted the kill, but they only had one ward, and I don't think spotted either of the two rotating over from Bucket We Fall. That being said, the Cernanos just died. Probably should have expected that one. But with that being said, I don't think it should set them back too far, but this might. FuegoMyEggo takes a couple tower shots, not able to land anything onto Zyther. And yeah, it's already a 3,000 gold deficit, 9 minutes. Not exactly the start you're looking for, but there's still a lot of time to kind of remedy that. I know I've talked with this team a lot about playing objectives early, trying to get something back, but they're not looking for an objective, they're looking for a kill as FuegoMyEggo falls Virtually with his 5th kill of the game.
Yeah, that's a big level discrepancy right there. Level 11 level 11 Virtually versus a level 8 FuegoMyEggo. Not what you want to see out of your jungle laner, because even though the gold and XP are kind of going to level out at some point here, that jungle lead is what allows for the rest of the map to push forward and become a winning lane and a potentially winning lane. And that gank needs to come out into the left side of the map right here. NoboFish kind of ganking his own lane, and Cernunos will have to dash away here. Rose decides to, let's go ahead and not 1v1 a soul that's 4-0. Probably the best idea, especially as a Cernunos without a second item as of right now. Maybe going Rage, maybe going Penetration. Depends on what you want to do. And I'm glad you got some insight right there. Focusing objectives, that's something that you're kind of pushing for this team.
It really is. I don't know how much they've followed that recently, but granted, maybe a few struggles early game does make it kind of hard to get those objectives early game and really play how you would like to. Just going for the Bastion now. Gonna make that tower a lot easier to push. And across the lane, I think, like you said, Virtually having the levels is really good in jungle. That being said, FuegoMyEggo has spread himself around the map a lot more. We've seen, I think, 2 ganks onto the Cernanos, a few in mid. We've really only seen Vert and a couple response ganks, which are still important, but doesn't quite afford your team the level of aggression as ganking first does. BlackZypher going to be pulled. Great ult by Timkana.
Yeah, and here comes MLG finding himself in a very rough position. Not exactly where we want to be in a 1v3 with a Tiamat, Maui, and a Wheelix. If you can get that knock-up, there is an Wheelix ult that can be used right now. Dharmatic Pillars will come out to try and secure the life of Ganesha, and it will, as the rest of the 3 will go ahead and retreat here. MLG, probably the call here was not really worth the kill. Something I've been preaching to Bucket We Fall is, if that kill is not worth it, just go ahead and go get farm. I mean, Ganesha is going to give you 20 gold probably if you're going to split it 3 ways, barely that. And there's a green buff, a bat camp up, and there's probably about to be speeds up here at some point soon. So go ahead and start preparing for those camps to come up, and that's exactly what Fuego did. He went to this bat camp, and he went to the green camp, which is probably the more effective thing to do instead of 3-way splitting a kill on a Ganesha.
See, that's why we're the best captains. Farm over kills, baby. Both of us been preaching it. It's always something nice to see, and I think we talk about it a lot, no matter what league we're in, what games we're casting, but especially with these leagues a little bit more excitement, maybe not as much experience. It's kind of a hard thing to do, just ignoring what seems like a perfectly easy kill. As NoboFish confirms a purple buff there. I'd like to see a gank over here from Achilles heel. I mean, the Soul right now, level 14, easily the most impactful god on the map at the moment. But if you can gank, get a kill, set yourself up for Gold Fury, Achilles heel already has Oracle Vision. So kind of got the startings to maybe getting this Gold Fury push, but you're not going to be able to do it when that Soul is still alive. Now we see him trending left a little bit. If they spot Fuego here in right, I'd really like them to take that fight in left.
It would be a great time for Achilles heel. Yeah, and that's exactly what Fuego is now shown on the map. A big ultimate coming out here, a big Owelix ultimate when the Amaterasu ultimate was not even done exactly right there, but Feather Step being used, jumping out and barely getting out and killing CagePred, but also in mid lane, they decided to go ahead and take a fight, but it's not going the way of Achilles heel. Instead, it's actually going the way of Bucket We Fall, but virtually is still full health and ready to fight NoboFish, the big problem on the map, and will get the kill onto NoboFish. BarryMF will now try to secure a kill right back onto virtually, but instead will get pushed away by Tidal Wave, as well as, oh my goodness, a big old pool will kill another 2 players from Bucket We Fall. So there we go. Zether showing up right there and actually getting some good damage at the end of that fight. It was unexpected because that entire fight was on virtually at that moment.
It was. Good job by Vert staying alive as long as they did, but credit to Gymkhana taking down that Poseidon on the back end. It's going to limit the objective pressure for Achilles heel. I think should be able to take this Gold Fury with no problems. Ama did teleport over to left, but just clearing out waves at the moment. So it should be a free Gold Fury, and finally now we do see a little bit of objective pressure. They might not see the Yama coming around the back. I think CagePred gonna be too late though. Might get cut out. I would just retreat here, save MOG's life, not losing a life after you get the Fury, and they're gonna do just that.
Yeah, really smart play by Achilles heel. You don't want to be finding yourself in a bad position. A big trade coming out here onto the Pyromancer. This is a very typical thing to do in not only this level of play, but even higher level plays, just to trade back the Pyromancer. Virtually we'll find 2 players in the jungle, though, with Zether around the corner, decide not to go ahead and take that fight because the CagePred is currently in the middle lane. Currently level 12 on the Morgan Le Fay. You know, you need a lot more farm as we go on. I don't know. BarryMF is also level 12 as we speak, but level 16 coming out of NoboFish, as well as 15 coming out of Virtually. These are 2 very high carries right now.
And admittedly, if I'm on Achilles heel, the level 16 soul by itself is scary. The fact that I would attribute more, and obviously you can't really see player damage when you're in game, but 10,500 to 1,700, those are pretty skewed numbers. I know Rose is a lot more passive ADC. I was as well when I played the role, so I don't really mind that. But that tells me this soul is just getting a ton more poke onto the CERN without much return damage. It's not a big deal that an ADC is that high damage this early in the game. It just shows they're brawling a lot, but I'd really like to see the CERN kind of match those numbers, because right now there is almost no pressure being thrown NoboFish's way.
For sure, Nobo is kind of just free casting as much as they would like. That being said, did you just see what just happened? There were 5 members from Bucket We Fall in mid lane. That is very much so like a high level play kind of thing to do at 15 minutes into the game. You don't usually see players at Platinum and Gold level at 15 minutes just all group up 5 in mid, ready to attack and have a team fight. They have obviously had to separate and go back into their lanes and get some farm and stuff like that. But a very interesting little group up right there. Didn't end up being anything. Man, Jim is landing these fish hooks like no else.
Yeah, he has been really accurate with them. And I think, like you said, I really do like seeing Bucket group up there as 5 in the mid lane. If they are able to get that tier 1 tower down, that's going to be all of them across the board. Because if we look at the positioning of Achilles' heel, that tier 2 or tier 1 tower being up is really the only thing letting him step this far up in lane. They've lost it in both the side lanes. There are a lot of wards on right, so Jazz probably pretty safe. The same with the Rose with a few up. Oh, and MLG gets caught out, not going to be pulled back in. That was a little bit of a hopeful fight there, a 2v4, but regardless, not going to be punished, but missing those Dharmic Pillars could be pretty big for the fight that's sure to come under this tier 1 tower.
2v2.
Yeah.
This could be a 2v2. Virtually is going to find a 1v2 against a Soul and an Awilix. Awilix will try to escape, but Kraken will secure the kill. Just the edge of the Kraken. Barely enough to even get that kill, but ends up actually securing it well enough. But we have a big rotation coming out from Jim, as well as Barry is here now, but finds himself already at half health. Not looking to go too good, but Rose also at half health. Has to use Wild Hunt just right on top of herself. So not exactly what you wanted if you were on the side of Achilles' heel as far as kills go. But now virtually going to be a little greedy here and go for the green buff. Will, I believe, secure the green buff, but will not get away without dying. Not exactly what you want if you are a Poseidon about to have a team fight here with Gold Fury coming up in less than 30 or 20 seconds here.
I don't think the green buff is worth the life there. Maybe virtually just felt he couldn't get out alive and figured, you know, might as well grab some XP. If that's the call, then it's a little bit more understandable. I thought Poseidon would have been able to get away. Good Dharmic Pillars to separate off the fight. You're gonna need Zyther alive, no ult, but with a Poseidon down, there's no other way you can test this Gold Fury. And I think I spoke earlier about not necessarily loving Fish's build here on the Soul, but credit to him, doing a ton of damage, most in the game, so I don't think it's really a problem at this point. If they can get CagePred here in return for a Fury, that's not a bad trade. With Gymkhana being less than half, that's really going to limit how much Bucket are able to push off that call.
Yeah, good call there by Achilles. They'll just go ahead and secure the kill and then back off. Probably not worth trying to 3-man dive into the Gold Fury to potentially steal it and then possibly get wiped, the reverse wipe after the kill onto CagePred. We have a very little gold difference, but they're going to do exactly what Bucket We Fall did last time, which is go for this Pyromancer and try to get it back himself. Almost good 3 there from FuegoMyEggo, but will not land onto the Pyromancer. So Achilles Hill will trade back right after the Gold Fury and get the Pyromancer.
Good call there. They didn't take that Runic Bomb at first. I was about to go off on somebody in Vodder view, but they do pick up the Runic Bomb, so all's well in the world. Now, this is kind of an odd stage of the game. I feel like this is really the part where now both teams, even if they're not grouping up as 5, the laning phase is kind of over at this point. You're roaming mostly as a team. Now Achilles Heel looking to push down this tier 1. I'd like to see that. I don't know if they've spotted the Awilix in right, but if they have, which are gonna in a second here, virtually trying to get a kill into CagePred, I'd expect Poseidon to die here in defense.
Yeah, there's really no escape here. Great Kraken to knock up FuegoMyEggo, but will not be enough, I don't think, to get away from 2 of the best mobility gods in the game with Awilix and Amaterasu with a lot of mobility, dash, and obviously a great dog to stand on and jump off of for Awilix. Another big fight. They actually end up taking this fight in mid lane, but it's not exactly on the way of Achilles Hill, and now 2 players from Bucket We Fall rotating into mid. MLG already down to a quarter of their health and will go down thanks to a good feather step coming out from Fuego. A humongous landfall will be used here. Beads Aegis being forced out by Rose, and a secure kill onto both Kokolin and onto Zernos. This is a 5-man, very low health on Cage and Fuego. NoboFish about half health, but should be able to lifesteal it all back. A Fire Giant call here from Bucket We Fall.
And I'm not gonna lie, I love my team. They're all really cool people. That being said, I do not think that was a good fight. It was a 4v3, you definitely could have taken it, but Morgan Le Fay backed while still having the ult. And some lifesteal on that. Not able to steal the Fire Giant. A lot of low health bars though, Bucket are definitely gonna have to back before they push anything. I think that being said, one of the first real big missteps we've seen from Achilles heel, they had the advantage in that fight, in my mind, 100%, but good job on Bucket realizing when their solo laner and jungler rotating back in, they pick up the fight instead. They get a Fire Giant off of it. Great play calling from Bucket We Fall.
Yeah, I remember you just said, I hope they notice that Awilix is in the right side of the map, attacking, who was it? It was,
Vert.
Yeah, it was Vert. Yeah, it was Vert over there by himself. You would expect that was the moment that it should have clicked in the brain of Achilles heel. Let's go in right now. But it seems like it might have delayed a little bit because that fight was way over. And then we switched over here to the mid lane when we were spectating, thanks to Anthony. We moved over here, and it looks like the fight was already just starting because we had 3 people still full health on the side of Achilles and Achilles heel, and all 3 members of Bucket We Fall were basically full health as well. Rose getting caught out here, sadly, but we'll have to use Wild Hunt to try to secure her own life. Virtually is here to try to peel for her, but instead will be pinched by Awilix in the jungle. Featherstep will land the kill there. Landfall being used very recklessly to get a single kill onto Virtually, who is their biggest player on Achilles right now. 2 members down on Achilles heel, 5 members up on Bucket We Fall, pushing down the left side of your screen on the map up there on the top left-hand side. But MLG will be found out in the top of their own jungle. 5 members now pushing this Fenix. Let's hope that MLG can do something here. Dark Pillars will be used, but will not be able to put out much damage. Instead of getting Featherstep immediately. And Morgan Le Fay, the single holding defense 4v1, does a good amount of damage. They're all about half health right now.
There indeed. Not a bad job on the defense by Achilles heel. That being said, that whole situation could have been avoided there and left if they had wards. Not a single one on the left side of the map and only one on the right for Achilles heel. I think it's also a pretty big talking point, and it's a weird thing to get used to. I mean, when I played in Smite and started, kind of try-harding, trying to win games, I still didn't ward at the start, so can't fault them for it too much. But you gotta think if they have ward vision there, maybe they recognize the rotation, the Sternos and the Poseidon get out of there, and then admittedly, it's a hard Fenix push for Bucket We Fall. Going against the Dharmic Pillars and the Kraken, it's gonna be really tough to break that.
Big call here by Achilles heel to go for Pyromancer. Fire Giant still on the belt of some of the members of Bucket We Fall. Achilles heel will end up securing Pyromancer, and CagePred dashed in. Crits are not hitting too hard onto CagePred as of right now. Sternos only has 1 stack on Rage, and that is the only crit item. 303 onto little minions, but only about 100 are the crits onto gods. We would probably love to have a little more Rage stacks onto Sternos as of right now, but it's okay. 1 in 4, unlucky early game going out for Rose. But if we can get into some of these team fights, it very easily will change. Virtually, once again, on the right side of the map, will find himself with a gray screen right in front of him, getting picked while the rest of his team is still alive, ready to defend Fire Giant. Dharmic Pillars being used to try and pill out the rest of the team. And a very lazy back, thanks to the Fire Waves attacking the Titan right now. An enhanced Fire Wave looks to be pushing in on the left-hand side, but instead, Bucket We Fall says, let's go ahead and fight this. MLG now the target after Morgan Le Fay has already fallen. 2 members stand for Achilles heel as the entirety of the beautiful Bucket We Fall team, full health besides CagePred. And they're grouping up and killing 1 member at a time. Rose 1997 will go down. Did not have ultimate to pill herself that time, and a right side Fenix will go down for Achilles heel, and Bucket We Fall be very happy about this one.
Not gonna lie, I don't know why they wouldn't have at least tried for the end there. I know that can sometimes be a tricky thing, trying to determine, when you have enough strength to really go for that end. And when you don't, they're gonna get Fire Giant on the back end, so not bad. And I mean, like Anthony has been aggressively pointing out, the Oboe for Cernanos, I don't love it in the build. It's one thing if you get it when you sell the Death's Toll as like a last item, but I really don't think it offers enough value to justify taking that over something like the Kinsize EXE, or even, as much as I don't like it in builds, even the Demon Blade at a stage like this kinda helps. But on the flip side, Soul ended up going Bancraft's Claw instead of Nimble, also another one not sure if I love. Would've liked the Nimble instead, but that extra life steal and being this far ahead, it really can't hurt the build at all, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, I obviously there's always a question of which item should you go. I know that Ao Kuang specifically is one of those gods that I've seen
Yes.
go Nibble and Claw. They can both kind of be efficient
Oh.
because it.
Well,
They,
you can't get both.
oh yeah, well I've seen them both separately be efficient. You know that's what I mean.
Oh,
Like
you
when some
tripped me
people.
up.
Yeah, when you can build Nibble and Claw and Ratatouille Calamitous, you know.
That
um,
combo must be absolutely hitting.
Imagine being able to build multiple. What are they called? The upgraded
Glyphs.
versions? Yeah, glyphs. Yeah, they always have these different words with the shards and glyphs and relics. Obviously now.
Heard it there first. Your caster didn't know what glyph meant.
Yeah, I don't even know what is the Tiamat's abilities, man. I dare you to name every one of them. Go.
Nope. All right, now tier 2 tower taken by Bucket We Fall. The left Phoenix is really low. Honestly, if I was them though, I still might try to push down that middle first. The left one could be an afterthought and a early use of the ultimate from Cernanos. Not a bad defense. Gymkhana dropping low. Gymkhana should be dead in the back. Oh, good leap to get them out. Oh, Jazz is diving deep. Oh, the rest of the team following up. This could be a big Alma stun. Finds no one though.
Dazzling Assault did not work as well there as we thought it would. Tiamat now landing a big two-man tornado right on top of the heads. I don't know their building names either, so, you know, whatever it's called. It's one of the tornadoes, but it's not Typhon, and it's not...
Wait, I got it. Whirlwind to Rage and Steel.
You looked that shit. Sorry, excuse me.
No, that's Xing Tian's ult. Completely different. I just did something called lying, and it did
Oh
work.
my god.
I mean, it fooled you. I'm okay with that.
Oh, man. Okay, yeah, there's the Children of Creation. We are being told by
You
Anthony.
Googled that.
Children of Creation is a very... Okay, Uba Manuntu, or whatever the name, the big monster is. We call it Uba Mamuntu or something like that. I don't know, I'm talking out of my...
Tiamat, but now the Phoenix going underway. Left Phoenix is going to fall. JasNotTheGenre, 2 kills for Achilles' heel. That's the kind of defense they needed. Unfortunate that the Phoenix still fell. I don't know if I would chase this. They're gonna try it. Oh, Rose dashes in aggressively. Might have been a misstep from the Cern, taking a bunch of damage. Gets away though. Now MLG dove deep as well. The
Landfall's
elephant
still up.
is gonna fall. There he goes. Like you said, landfall's up for Gymkhana. They're gonna be looking for onto the back line. Oh, and this is a troublesome spot. It's a 4-on-3, but you don't really have much ground to work with here if you're Achilles heel.
Yeah, your Titan's going down in health now thanks to Fire Waves, but 2 kills will come out for BarryMF. 3 members killed 2 members. It looks like that was a little bit of a split call from Zephyr and Colin. Now 2 stand versus 3 to defend this Titan. Middle Phoenix will go down. Whatever that ability is called, Typhon, Hurricane, Children of Creation. Yeah, that one. And now Soul will single-handedly basic attack this entire Titan down to very low health. Tiamat now jumping in. Landfall being used a little delayed, and Bucket We Fall will take game 1. Phoenix 1. This is a 16 ward game coming from Kokolin. Still went 2-4, sadly, but what do you see here that you would like to point out?
Well, I know I did talk about wards in that game and not seeing them from the side lanes. That being said, Rose and Jazz, I think it was mostly early game, did a pretty good job with wards, but I mean, virtually had ones either not 0 or had 0. Definitely got to get those numbers up, and especially when you're down like that in the late game, if you can see them moving throughout the jungle, it's normally a pretty good indication of where they're going to go next. We saw a couple split calls from Achilles' heels, a couple times where they were maybe pushed up in the wrong spots. A lot of those can really be avoided with wards. But that being said, the Cernanos, who I was a little bit concerned about, picked up their damage in the late game. And on the flip side, Tiamat and Soul, 2 highest damage in the game. Really good backline game from Bucket We Fall.
Yeah, let's hope that NoboFish can keep that up again. BarryMF obviously really well done on the Tiamat. Really showing face in the late game is where I saw most of Barry coming out. The 2 kills at the end, I believe, were secured by him at the back door right there. That actually ended up allowing for the 3 members of Bucket We Fall to push into the Titan room. Bad early game for FuegoMyEggo. Virtually, obviously, really pounding it in. the entirety of the early game, able to land 4 or 5 Krakens that were very dominant and created kills for mainly himself, not really creating many kills for his teammates, as he had more kills than the rest of his team combined, single-handedly, actually. 6 kills coming out from the other 3 members. Obviously, well, KingFsher, come on, why aren't you getting kills? But that is your game 1. We will go ahead and go to game number 2. KingFsher, myself, and Anthony on the camera will see you in a couple seconds.
I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sink into your bedroom floor. Lovely how lonely we are together. Crazy how I hold on for a little more. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. Don't hit like they used to, never as high as I was when I'm with you. So I drink to cope, it's an issue, okay. New Year's Day, so now it's a new me. Tell me why I'm so fucking lonely. I don't know why you won't love me the same. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone. I miss the late nights. 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sink into your bedroom floor. Lovely how lonely we are together. Crazy how I hold on for a little more. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. Don't hit like they used to, never as high as I was when I'm with you. So I drink to cope, it's an issue, okay. New Year's Day, so now it's a new me. Tell me why I'm so fucking lonely. I don't know why you won't love me the same. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. As soft as you're breathing.
What is up? This is the Smite Draft League. Man, we're here for game number 2, Achilles heel versus Bucket We Fall. Got KingFsher again. We're just going to have a conversation this time. We're going to talk about what's going on both teams, kind of where we might see some impact that could probably improve their game, kind of commentate over some of it. Not really going to be as much of a cast kind of game. But last game, we saw a little bit of stuff from Virtually that we didn't exactly love, getting picked in the right side of the map twice or 3 times in a row. Maybe this time on the Loki, a lot more escapability. This is a good ultimate to have if you want to get out, possibly, as well as Blink. Starting with Blink is a really good idea, possibly, for Virtually.
Certainly going to allow him to be a lot more aggressive. And I think the biggest problem we saw last game, because admittedly, I thought his early game on Poseidon was really good. Doing it textbook, rotating around the map, getting kills, using that Kraken to great effect. I think just wasn't able to kind of change the game style. Because the way you play early game, it's not going to work. It's not going to work late game if you try to play that way. But being on a god like the Loki, who kind of excels at just going to find single targets on the map, act like it's Valentine's Day, and take them out, it's going to be a lot better playstyle, I think. So I should look to him to have more of an impact specifically in the late game compared to last.
Yeah, that's what you want to see out of Virtually, is the late game, obviously, in the Poseidon could have been very good. It was just not the exact, not the best opportunity. We are going to take a quick break here because we have some technical difficulties. Sorry about that, and welcome back. Nothing has really changed. We're going to watch them clear these buffs one more time, as we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I think we had to switch the teams around just a little bit to make sure they're in the right spots, but as you can see, Achilles heel Virtually is their jungler, and on FuegoMyEggo, that is Bucket We Fall's jungler. So right side of your screen would be Bucket We Fall, left side of your screen would be Achilles heel. Virtually, we were talking about this. We're talking about the Loki pick. We like the Loki pick. We like the Kakolin probably again. Going on to genre, this is a good pick.
I think so as well. I admittedly didn't have a huge impact in Game 1. I don't know if that was necessarily due to the team kind of being behind from minute 1, or if it was just on Jazz herself not having the most impactful game. That being said, Kakolin's still a really good solo laner. Love to see it. And I think we erroneously put the win onto Achilles heel, which honestly, I would have been okay with. But I guess it's corrected, so Bucket is ahead 1-0 in this game. And I don't know if you've talked much with Bucket, but after that win, do you think they're going for the same kind of strategy here? Because admittedly, it's a really different looking team comp.
Yeah, I specifically asked for a big push by, what a great first pick by Jazz. Turning into monster form, going rage, and able to easily push a easy first kill onto CagePred Shiva. Very unusual picks from the solo lane here for sure, though. With a Shiva and an Amaterasu, this other game, a very consistent solo laner coming out of Achilles heel, with both games being a Kakolin. I want to talk a little bit about the NoboFish physical god. NoboFish loves the magical ADCs right now. I think most people do. I have specifically asked that we get a physical ADC on a NoboFish, and I think NoboFish really escalates on physical gods, and it's weird in this meta. I know they're not as good in the early game especially, but I feel that Nobo could bring a lot more to possibly the late game with crit and stuff like that. So that's kind of one of the things we did, and obviously Susano is a very different pick. We wanted to have a more team fight based god in the jungle, and that's exactly what Susano is.
I think I feel the same way for sure. I mean, magical ADCs are always going to have their spot in the game, but that being said, physical ADCs are just a classic, and wow, that's why you don't want magical ADCs, because they die second overall as Rose falls to NoboFish. Not what you want to see from the duo lane. Again, I mean, admittedly a better start than last game. We saw them really struggle. I think MLG in particular with a little bit of the positioning. That being said, again, no wards on this left-hand side from Achilles heel, where Bucket has two. Knew they were going to be at the gold buff, and a great rotation by FuegoMyEggo. It's now looking for the Loki, but just now taking over to level 3. Not much mana and not much kill threat either.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, you're not going to... not much kill threat, but hopefully it can come back. You know, obviously, even with a death in the left side of the map, you obviously can come back and get more kills. But NoboFish already going up 1-0 is just not exactly what you want right now. And obviously the kill coming out from the right side on to Jazz is a great thing to have. Because last game CagePred was kind of rotating out very early, and this time possibly Jazz could do it. But once again, NoboFish will find a Maui that's very low health and will have to land here and will get basic attacks last hit right there by NoboFish, who dashed in to make sure that that kill was secured. So 2 kills coming out from NoboFish. I do like him on the physical gods, of course. That's kind of how it goes, but I never expected the early game to go as well as it has right now, because with Freya on the team, especially going the wonderful, what's it called, Gilded Arrow, I believe? I always forgot.
Yeah, Gilded Arrow.
Yeah, Gilded Arrow, yep, that's the one. And it looks like we're going into a ring of some sort, whether it's the Lifesteal ring or Telekind's ring or whatever ring it's going to be. Yeah, hopefully it'll be Telekind's, but a ultimate was hit right there. No rotation coming from it, just a little delayed, but Jazz is trying to get out here and trying to avoid a death. FuegoMyEggo will land the pool. Zephyr is here and ready to get 2 kills if need be, will land it right onto the Shiva's head, and it will not get the kill. Shiva going into a beautiful dance to try and secure a healthy FuegoMyEggo. FuegoMyEggo says, I don't want to be secured, I want to get kills, and will walk back in. Still alive right now, and will actually trade out the kill. CagePred going out to kill Jazz thanks to the tower and the dive. A big jump there by Kakolin right into the tower. I don't think that was intentional.
Now Rose going to fall as well and left a 3rd kill over to NoboFish, doing a great job. Oh, gets to landfall. I would have liked MLG to go a little bit further back into the tower range. It would have been pushing the range of the ult, but not much good if they only get 1 tower shot in them. I think that being said, on that right side gank, I like the idea from Achilles heel. That being said, you really got to coordinate a lot more. I think having the Kakolin go back in, and then having the Yana show up, and then 10 seconds later having the Loki show up, it doesn't really work. There's not a lot of chances to kind of leash your CC, coordinate your damage.
This is so much time. This is so much time. This is so much time, and it literally is not going to pay off. It's that much time that it's not going to. And I think that CagePred's going to try to, CagePred's going to get out of here. Virtually, look at what camps are for Virtually right now. You have the back left-hand side camp, you have the speed camp up, and back right side camp is also up. All of these camps are up and ready for Virtually to get, and have been for about 50 seconds now. And instead, we are chasing a kill on a Shiva in right lane for a very long time, much longer than we probably should have been. We had talked about this last game. Always go for XP over kills, and I think that's a situation where that probably was what needed to happen.
Was indeed. Now they are going to get a short stun onto FuegoMyEggo, who gets away just fine. Not much threat of death there, and don't love having to commit a Loki ult for that with no follow-up. If they get the blue buff off of it, it's one thing, but unfortunately did not. Is now Freya gonna have to be careful in this duo lane, and I think we talked last game about the build on Soul and building the rings, how I don't love it. That being said, Freya doesn't do good, in my opinion, with the other build. The ring build is kind of the only path for her, and I think it's going to make this Freya a little bit weaker in this early game. Obviously, one of the premier goddesses when you think about late game powerhouses. And another ult from the Giannis. I mean, I love Giannis. I'm not going to lie, I don't see the point in ulting only for damage. It's a pretty small chance that you're going to hit. If you follow up through the portals, that's one thing, but just getting that small, unconfirmable damage. Oh, are they going to... Oh, Virtually doesn't have his AoE up. CagePred escapes, again for the 3rd time in a row, unsuccessful in putting the Shiva down.
Look at the buffs. Tell me right now what's going on. Both speed, NoboFish getting another kill on the Rose, but both speed butts are up, and we're standing in right lane again, not getting a kill on Shiva. Virtually getting really punished here and still in the right lane, actually, still looking for a kill onto Shiva, and CagePred actually will get the kill onto Virtually for standing over there for so long. And Bucket, we fall, says there's 2 people on the right side of the map. Let's go ahead and get this Gold Fairy for free. Susano, very low health. If any member of Achilles Hill were to walk into this right now, they would get at least 1 kill. But instead, everyone was either dead or back at base. Virtually, let's clearly speed buffs, man. Let's get them.
And I gotta say, seeing that green icon by JasNotTheGenre confused me so much. I was like, what did I miss? When were they in left? But no, it's a silver buff. Just a little bit of a confusing icon. But now does have a lot of wards on that right side, so can afford to push up. Gonna spot that Odin now. Odin does have ultimate. And so far, I mean, MLG did not start Shell. There's not going to be a Phantom Shell on this team until second relics come out. That being said, I would really like to see the Phantom Shell instead of the Aegis for some of these backliners. Because last game, MLG got himself in a problem a few times with positioning, but he likes to play aggressive, and Maui's an aggressive Guardian, so I think for that reason, I think backline could have to be a little more reliant. Beads forced out by NoboFish as virtually gets heal, not able to get a ton of follow-up damage. Minions doing some good body blocking.
Yeah, this was a good play right now by NoboFish getting out there. It was actually a really nice... I know the name of the ability. Okay, don't make fun of me, KingFsher. Give me a second. Whoop, 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 whoop. Got it. Freya whoop.
Like you're in a rap song.
Oh, whoop, 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 whoop. I'm like a dog.
I mean, I think I technically have to point out that it's called Banish, but I do think everybody just calls it. I mean, I call it Whoop as well, so
okay,
I really can't fault you for that. It's a lot more fun to say. Like, who wants to say Freya banish him? No, she just went whoop.
Yeah,
there you go, up into the air.
Yeah, up in the air. That kind of saved, to be honest with you, kind of saved NoboFish's life, because the dash was then kind of a clear space, gave a clear space for Nobo just to start getting away. I think that if you're a Freya, you want your enemies right next to you. You want to just start landing those. Man, what is Eradicate? Did I get that one right?
Which one?
Which one?
Sorry?
Irradiate, and Pulse. Yes, that's the one. Thank you, Anthony, who is, you cannot hear right now, but we can, virtually with a double kill in the mid lane. BarryMF and FuegoMyEggo going down, virtually finally landing a humongous ultimate that he needed since minute 1 of this game. Now actually on par and above FuegoMyEggo, even though he has not been clearing any of his speed buffs or camps on time. Good thing to be virtually right now and 2 levels ahead.
And again, we're seeing the level advantage from Vert. We saw it last game on the Poseidon. I think that one was really aided by a lot of those ganks, resulting in kills. Just finding it with Farm this game, only 2 kills and missed on a few others. And I think having this level advantage, it's a really good thing, because we saw for a brief time what he could do with it in the last game. I think if they're able to translate it better, it should be a really successful game for the Loki. And have you, I know there's that like new thing online, the Smite Savvy thing, the trivia. We're gonna have to play that later for the ability names and see how many you get. As a good Valkyrie's Discretion, Byro's gonna save her from that CC immunity and holds on to the beads. I think I do like using ult there, because obviously ult's got a much shorter cooldown, so beads gonna stay up.
Yeah, good job there right now. Thankfully, yeah, that's one cool thing about Freya into this matchup is that if you have Odin Gauge and you have Bird Bomb, you have every other item from Odin that's a really potentially big damaging abilities, just go up in the air. Just go fly as a Valkyrie and be free to do whatever you want to and have no problems. But that does not work when you're a Kukulkan in the right side of the map getting 2v1 currently. Big Typhoon coming out from Susanoo, but went exactly the wrong way down the down the road. A big pool being used by Shiva as well as by Susanoo, but will not secure the kill, both down to about a quarter health. This is the time that Loki would be nice to be over there, but instead looking for a kill on NoboFish, as NoboFish is the big threat, and Rose will secure a kill onto NoboFish. That was very important and necessary in the last game, and especially important this game as well, because NoboFish is running it back and doing very well this game.
Doing very well indeed. And now another Giannis ult. They are rotating over. Shouldn't be able to get the kill unless... Oh, Zyther had to use... Oh, what an ult by MLG on the edge. Great job by them, but now BarryMF has rolled on over. And, I mean, Maui surely dies for this.
Ooh.
Oh.
Big
Never mind.
swing. Yeah. But the multi-named Typhoon, Hurricane, Children of the Creation is being used, but Virtually is here, landing crits, level 12, doing damage. Looking for the jump is Jim, will get over the wall, but Virtually is invisible and ready to go in and dive. Blink being used, teleport coming in from CagePred, but will not be in time to kill Virtually, as Virtually saw the big blue circle around the tower and said, I'm getting out of here, but we'll try to secure this cooldown buff and will. Good farm right now for Virtually, but FuegoMyEggo now at level 11. That was a 3-level difference a couple seconds ago. NoboFish once again using ultimate secure kill onto Rose 1997. And now a 1v1 between MLG and FuegoMyEggo. Two people that are probably never going to 1v1 in a duel game and probably rarely duel in ranked games. So take it while you have it right here. A Susano versus a Maui.
Not often that we see that combination. I think unfortunately Zyther misplaced a portal, may have possibly gotten that Susano on the edge of it, and I think using Giannis portals as damage is something that's always really contested. I don't hate it in certain situations like that, where you know you're not going to have to run away. I think it's fine. Definitely needs it now as Loki under some fire in the mid lane. Eventually may fall to Ishtar, but no, able to ult away into safety. Zyther picks up FuegoMyEggo, drops through his own portal to avoid the damage. Now Maui not with the ult. If land falls there, that may have been a really big quadra kill under that tier 1 tower. Unfortunate timing there for Achilles heel. Oh.
Yeah, but not too bad of timing, as the person that has that tornado is going to use it again and get out as well as get a kill, trying to get out, but will actually get blinked on and ulted by a great Kakolin use right there. Really well done there by Achilles heel getting that trade back, because Tiamat was obviously in a very bad position. It looks like Gold Fury is a potential call here, as everyone on Bucket We Fall kind of retreating. This is a Oni Fury being pulled here, but 3 members are ready here from Bucket We Fall. I don't think this is exactly what Achilles want. A good banish, or as we call it, whoop, being used here by Freya to secure a escape for the entire team. Hopefully here they're kind of splitting apart. Virtually 1v1 versus CagePred loves this solo lane and probably will secure this kill, and he will secure this kill. A bleed from the one allowed for that kill to come through. 3 members from Bucket We Fall on the left side of the map here going for the Oni Fury now themselves after poking out the rest of the members, but instead will decide to retreat themselves, as 3 members of Achilles heel are also standing here ready to fight if need be. I think we're going to have a dance here for a little bit, possibly.
Should have a dance indeed. And I'm not going to lie, going back to that main fight, you just stuck there for a long while with a string of fights. But chasing into the jungle, I don't love the call from Achilles heel there. Luckily, though, they traded mid laner for mid laner. So at the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Both teams kind of suffer, but pulling the Gold Fury, virtually? Maybe thought they were going to get the tower down a little bit faster there and do eventually. And gets out with life, so good job by the Loki. Admittedly had me worried there. But back to the other point. They have the mage ADC on Achilles heel. They are not going to have nearly as much structure damage, especially into something like a Susano and an Ishtar. But a Giannis ult is going to find some solid damage. FuegoMyEggo gets away, though. Not going to be chased down either. Instead, it's going to be MLG. Taking a lot of damage, but Gymkhana might have gone too far.
Yeah, MLG obviously found himself in a rough position there, but Jim also found himself in a rough position. Neither team willing to punish the support that walks into a really bad position as of right now. Shiva invading a wonderful little blue buff on the right-hand side of the map, while the rest of the team members go and farm their own camps. Virtually will find himself in a 1v1 situation against NoboFish. This is probably not exactly what you want to be 1v1 right now, but if you were NoboFish, that being, because Virtually is an assassin landing a good amount of crits, kind of playing the Loki way here, you know, split pushing. This is kind of what you expect out of a lot of Loki mains. Dr. Loki, you know, multiple other Loki mains in this Smite community that we know about. You kind of just go and attack towers and get your team gold, and then you hit level 20 and you kill people in one shot. Kind of what Lokis do.
I mean, can't find any flaws with that logic. Landfall not going to be on the mark. I don't know, did Barry did use beats there, so at least draws out a relic. FuegoMyEggo with a good Typhoon, but not quite enough damage, as both junglers going to have to kind of ult for escape there. And now, it's a little bit of a rough state on the map, because if you're either of these teams, the gold difference, 1,000 at 17 minutes, it's not a big deal. Oh, off the mark, though, with the ult. Don't know if Zyther needed the beads there. That's a lot of utility loss for that Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis obviously currently 1, 2, and 3, not able to find a ton of kills. CagePred will find himself in a 1v2 situation. Giannis' ultimate is not up right now, which means that he will not be there. 1v3 situation for CagePred, dancing the Shiva dance is he, but will not get out. CagePred will die thanks to a good strike from Virtually. Virtually finding his footing as a 5-2 jungler right now, a big threat to almost every single member on Bucket We Fall besides the super tanks that are he's obviously having a harder time killing. Bucket We Fall said, I see that you guys have 3 people on the right side of the map. We're going to go ahead and pull the Gold Fury here. This would be a good chance for Achilles Hill to possibly retreat and go and pull the Pyromancer, but instead blinking and using ultimates here are the members of Achilles Hill, and a fight may ensue here as Jim uses Cage to create room for the other 3 members of his team. FuegoMyEggo trying to escape before getting stunned by a big Virtually ultimate on the Loki. BarryMF currently in mid alone, 1v3. If they end up diving here, this could be a lot of kills. 5 members of Achilles Hill in the top left-hand side of the jungle right now, looking, praying for any kind of predator, being a predator to any kind of prey that's ready to be killed. Shiva also here, but now we have a Virtually in a really rough position against a single-handed NoboFish, ready to take this fight using Blast Arrow to try and secure the kill on a Virtually, but Virtually is in a rough position with no ultimate and will get picked thanks to a NoboFish ultimate. Now Achilles Hill will go for this Pyromancer, but BarryMF is on the other side of the wall, ready to steal this if need be. No wards on it, and will try to use it to get it, but will not get it. Achilles Hill will secure it. Typhoon being used, and now a team fight will ensue. Landfall will only land onto one person, the Susano, and a not that great of a leap for MLG, and will not get out his own life, but this time Jazz gonna get killed here as well. 5 members of Bucket We Fall heading towards Fire Giant, full health. 3 members of Achilles Hill all down. 3,000 gold lead, 3,000 XP lead for Bucket We Fall. What's gonna happen here? Is there any chance of him stealing this?
I don't really see one unless Zyther is able to time this Giannis to really well, and admittedly that's a big misstep from Achilles Heel. Like you said, oh no, way off the mark. Giannis has to run away, chased down by Susano, and is gonna die for his efforts. He's gonna not die for his efforts. Instead, Susano falls. Now Achilles Heel do not get the Fire Giant, and I think you highlighted it perfectly earlier that fight. Way too deep in the jungle and left, did not need to be there. They get 2 kills on the back end though. That's going to be really useful for them. Mid and jungle don't have Fire Giant, so maybe a little bit of a win. But that being said, if they make a different play, I don't know if they would have been put in that position to begin with.
Yeah, that kind of started a long while ago. That was like a domino effect. You know, it happened. It started 3 minutes ago, and it actually ended up with the result right here, Virtually getting 2 kills, and Bucket We Fall having 3 members with Fire Giant. NoboFish, I believe, is one of those members with Fire Giant. I do not know exactly if he is, but a 1v1 here, one of those rare ones you probably won't see too many of. CagePred versus Virtually. Virtually once again finds himself in a bad position and will not be able to escape. Giannis using ultimate to try and secure his teammate out of that fight, but instead will not find that safety of the portal. Zether running away. MLG now the one that's being caught out, as he does not have the same portals that Giannis does, but Giannis will drop Jim, and a swinging Maui is in the air and will land on one person, but will end up using landfall on one person and dying. Giannis still stands, as well as Kakolin in mid lane, and big NoboFish ultimate coming out. A wall is right behind the Giannis. He could use portal on that, but instead will die within the cage, as well as Jazz will also die in the cage. Good cage from our friend Odin. Do we have a Phantom Shell yet coming out from... I don't think we... Oh, yeah, we do. There it is. In the top left-hand side, Kakolin has one right there. And we have another shell coming up as well from the Maui, but that's just a regular shell as of right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I was going to talk about it earlier, and I think I got sidetracked. I don't love the blink on Giannis. I know it's popular, but it does look like it's thrown to a pause, unless I'm just DC'd again, but doesn't look like the case, so we're going to go ahead and throw it to a break and be right back with some more of these thoughts and the conclusion of game number 2.
Hello, and welcome back after that short break. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, had to pause the game. We have a FuegoMyEggo pushing down the right side tower, Virtually currently in a hidden mode, trying to kill a level 16 FuegoMyEggo. Ultimate was just used, which means that Fuego should be able to escape here, but a chase is ensuing. This is NASCAR. And we got Fuego still having all the abilities. Goldfury going down for Bucket We Fall. 4 members of Achilles Heel chasing down a Susano. 2 in the bottom of the lane. Giannis has stopped the chase, but virtually is now standing at the edge of the tower while all alone, Rose 1997, standing here, ready to fight 4 people, I believe. Instead, looking at a tower, trying to escape, but will not be able to do that.
Yeah, and that is why you go Phantom Shell, for specifically that reason. I mean, granted, does have Phantom Shell on the 2 frontliners, but when you're that far away, it doesn't matter. And I gotta say, on that right side, I like Vert's aggressiveness on his jungle. I think it's one of the best parts. I love junglers that don't stray away from a fight. That being said, there is absolutely zero world where you catch that Susano there. So, I mean, Susano has a teleport and a dash, and Loki gets a little bit faster. So don't love that chase down, and it kind of opens up the left side of the map. I mean, tier 2 tower, wash off the face of the earth. Not exactly the greatest trade in the book, but that being said, we were at a pretty similar position last game, where Bucket We Fall were pretty ahead, they had a lot of towers down, and I thought Achilles' defense was okay. It admittedly wasn't the best, but you know, it wasn't bad. They really had some redeeming moments in the defense, I think specifically on that left-hand Fenix. I think this is around the time where you gotta do it again, but their defense this game is notably worse than it was last game.
Yeah, not as prevalent for sure as it was last game, and now we have a little bit of a higher level play here. We got probably a 5v5 coming here soon as the Freya, but not in time, it seems. CagePred is finding himself a good dance against 3 people, 3 members of Achilles Hill getting picked here. Zephyr getting picked already. Now Jazz getting picked, and now MLG in the swinging motion getting picked. Virtually will go in 1v5 and attempt to get a kill, but will not end up getting any kills. 50 seconds onto Virtually, 30 seconds onto the rest of his teammates. This should be a free Fire Giant and a regular Fire Giant at that. Freya, Rose, is the only one to be standing on the side of Achilles Hills, and the lead has now gone to from 7k to about 10, 11k at this point. With Fire Giant going down, it will now be 12k. And Rose running those little feet of hers as fast as she can and getting away from Susano, but instead having to go up into the sky to try to secure her own life from 4 members of Bucket We Fall, chasing a big crit coming out from NoboFish. Will land and get the kill. Middle Phoenix is the pressure point as of right now, but a delayed call coming out will go for tier 2 in the right side of the map.
And I think that's probably a smart play call from Bucket. I mean, if you go for the end there, you got a chance, but I mean, you don't really need to. You're pretty far ahead right now, can do no wrong. Is either trapped on the opposite side of the wall. I think, unless my eyes are mistaken, portaled himself instead of blasting through the wall. I gotta think that's just a misplace. Don't think he would have intentionally done that, so a little bit of bad luck as this right side Phoenix is on the menu. Virtually SUSB is not going to save him for long, falls, and instead Jazz going to go down as well. MLG leaps back in, surely going to pay for it. Phoenix falls down, and this should be the game. I don't think that the Freya is going to be able to do it. Does have a few items online, but not nearly enough damage, as Bucket We Fall should take game 2 for the win.
Yeah, this should be a 2-0 right here. FuegoMyEggo will die to the biggest god on the map, the Titan. Able to hit him 4 times and kill him. Still standing is Rose as of right now. A big knockout coming from that ability that we don't know the name of ever. And Titan healing back up after 2 seconds. Trying to get the kill is Nobo, and Nobo will kill him. Coming out from Bucket We Fall. We actually are going to have a player that we are going to interview real quick. It will be CagePred, the soul laner from Bucket We Fall. Allow me to organize this real quick, though.
I'll tell you what. Until you organize it, I'll go ahead and take us over the end game screen.
Yep.
But again, I think we talked about it at the end of last game. Saw good rewards from Rose and Jazz, and again a lag from Virtually and Zyther. And I think that game for Achilles Heel admittedly started out a lot better, but they fell back into a little bit of the old habits. It was kind of not necessarily thinking through things, probably taking fights they shouldn't have, spreading themselves around the map too thin. And credit to Bucket We Fall, they knew how they were going to play and they took advantage of it. I mean, NoboFish 15-1. They got nearly all the objectives. They really didn't make any large mistakes that I could see. So credit to them. Played a really, really nice game of Smite.
Yeah, really well done there by NoboFish, one of the best members of our team for sure. Obviously, the help from Jim, 19 assists is a lot of members. And the 0 wars coming out from Zypher again, King. I mean, you're going to be sending some messages tonight, I think, to your team saying, can we place down some wards virtually, also with a big goose egg? Your side lanes, once again, 11 wards from both of them, doing very well as far as wards go. And I think with that, we will have CagePred probably join the call here in just a moment, and we will ask him some questions about how it was in solo lane and how it felt. Cage, hello.
Hello.
Hey, man. We have some questions for you. So you picked Amaterasu and Shiva. How did you pick those two guys, and have you been practicing on those two guys? Because they're not very meta picks.
For the Amaterasu, I just thought something like comfortable to pick. Maybe go with the flow kind of deal. So basically, it was more of a comfortable pick than anything.
Gotcha.
And
Okay,
with the Shiva,
yeah.
we just thought it would be a good synergy. They had a Loki, the Shiva with the tick from his fire, and the Bluestone would keep the Loki from being seen.
Yeah,
Or
and
we
that
can
Loki
just
was
see
in your
him
lane a
over.
lot.
Yeah.
That Loki, yeah, he was there a lot. Did you have wards? Were you able to see him most of the time that he was there and just kind of know that he was there and just back up? Or were you kind of trying to bait him in for your team to get there and stuff like that so you could kill him multiple times? Because he did die like 3 times in your lane.
My idea there was if I can apply as much pressure as I can to get either Loki or the mid laner there just to have another person there. My idea was my team can take a Gold Fury or Oni or Primal, whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
Just to have more pressure around the map, have more objectives secure from Primal and all that.
Gotcha. Okay, and NoboFish, we'll switch over to him for a little bit because he obviously was going to be the an interviewee here. He is the shot caller for the team, correct? NoboFish is most of the time?
Yes.
Gotcha. And
We play off him and all that.
yeah, he went 15-1 in the second game. I don't know if you can pull up Anthony's screen right now. Really well done from him. Do you find that your jungler plays off of the dual lane more often, or that he plays off of your lane more often, or is it kind of a fair share between everyone?
I feel it's kind of like pick and choose kind of with the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he really goes into a game and be like, okay, I think this lane is going to be for sure what I need to focus. I think he kind of just go with what having the most struggle and just go with that. Which, I mean, it can be good, can be bad at times.
Yeah, of course. Because sometimes he'll be in the wrong spot at the wrong time. And it actually ended up working out in your favor this time because Virtually was the one that was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Fuego found himself in only 4 deaths. You had one consistent pick the entire game. This is my last question for you. Is Barry just comfortable on the Tiamat, or is this a pick that you guys just really want Barry on?
With the Tiamat pick, I'm kind of just going off of Barry been like practicing her, kind of just getting everything fixed with her.
Gotcha.
So it's
yeah.
more of a comfortable pick for him to get through, and basically for this whole set, I just think everyone just going for the comfortable picks instead of actual meta picks for a whole lot.
And is that what you guys did in the first game as well? Basically, you kind of did a little more comfortable picks instead of going for meta picks?
The first game, I would say we kind of just did. Some people did comfortable picks, some people did meta picks depending on their lane opponent. Like for me, I knew I was against Colin, so I assume Amaterasu would be a comfortable pick for me to duel him with the heal and damage mitigation for my 2.
Yeah, and you actually ended up soloing him in the first game, and then he ended up getting that push in on you on the second game for first blood. It was very, very funny to watch. We laughed at it while we watched it in the second game. because I don't know if you remember it, but it was like a weird because you like dashed in and then he just kind of like pushed because I think he was trying to get under the tower, and then it just pushed you underneath and shot you twice and you died for first blood.
Yeah, that was a misplay by me, 100%. I should have known he was berserking soon and he was gonna try that. I even said in comms that that was completely misplayed by me.
Yeah, and obviously you came back in both games to be a very prominent soul laner, dancing as Shiva and obviously dazzling as Amaterasu. But with that being said, I think that will be our game number 2.
Thank you so much for watching the Challenger Circuit today. Fenix was your main caster. Alongside him was KingFsher. I was AnthonyMalum on your Observer. A big thank you to CagePred for the interview, and be sure to let us know how you feel about the Challenger Circuit. And if you are plat or below, consider joining up late and getting in the Challenger Circuit, getting some competitive experience under your belt. We'll see you next time on the Smite Draft League.